On Friday, January 23rd, Upper St. Clair's Kids Helping Kids Club embarked on a week-long trip to the Dominican Republic. 21 students left the States hoping to help a run-down village. We spoke to senior Julia De La Pera about the eligibility of the trip and the teachers who accompanied.
So the people that are eligible are members of the club, and typically they're seniors, but we brought a couple juniors this year, and there are a couple of juniors that go every year. So you just have to be a member of the club and an upperclassman. We took Mr. Piskorski, Mrs. Chase now, and Senorita Kukowski.
One of the sponsors of this trip was Mrs. Chase, a French teacher from the high school. Aside from choosing which students to take on the trip, she shared some of her responsibilities as a chaperone.
Just making sure we have our plane tickets, the logistics, making sure that the lodging's ready for us, that they're going to pick us up at the airport once we arrive, figuring out which supplies we need to take for the year, collecting the donations throughout the year, organizing a packing party so that each kid can pack their bag of 50 pounds of donations, and making sure that each suitcase is maxed out to 50 pounds so that we're getting the most for our money.
Juniors Maddie Rocks and Aubrey Carson discussed the early medical preparation and the suitcase packing tradition.
For medically, we had to go to a clinic in Oakland and we had to get whatever shots we needed. I think I got typhoid, some people got polio, hepatitis, and then we just all take malaria pills.
For packing, we had a big packing party the Wednesday before we left, where we just kind of brought a bunch of garbage bags full of everything that we've collected and sorted them into sports equipment and different size clothes. And we brought a total of 27
50-pound suitcases.
Upon arriving in the Dominican Republic, students had to not only physically adjust, but also mentally adapt to the new environment. Mrs. Chase shared their cultural experience.
The concept of time is very different than what we experience here. So our kids and the group, we prepare for months, and we show up and we're ready to go. When we arrive, the Dominicans tend to want to make sure we're all comfortable, we know people, get to know one another about their families, their friends, their likes, dislikes. It's more important to spend the time first sharing a meal and understanding who one another is. And for us, we wanted to just start digging trenches right away, so we had to be patient.
Every year, the Kids Helping Kids students work together to build an aqueduct for an impoverished community.
So we were pickaxing and shoveling and putting tubes in, and it was a lot of fun. We worked on it for 2 days, but obviously we didn't complete the aqueduct, we just did part of it. And they were long days, a couple hours, in the middle of a jungle in the Dominican Republic.
We kind of all, we were playing around with the kids and stuff, and with the kids you don't notice as much what their needs are because all they seem to want is a hair tie. So we were having a good time, and we're oh, maybe it's not as bad as we thought. And then that experience kind of opened our eyes and was oh my gosh. For a t-shirt that was 10 sizes too big, kids would cry.
Even though the trip is over, the students constantly reminisce about their unique experience. This has been Jenny Park and Fran Capetta for the USC Update.